Hi there, today I'm going to talk about what an article is. Article is a word that defines a noun as specific from a non-specific, considering the following examples. Example, after a long day, a cup of tea is particularly good. The article here is the long and the cup. The next one, by using the article that, we've shown that it was on a specific day that was a long one, a specific cup of tea that tasted good. In other words, when we use the article that for specific things, in this case, the long day, the cup of tea. That is a specific long day, or that is a specific cup of tea. The next one. After a long day, a cup of tea tastes particularly good. It's the same example, however, in this part, we are not talking about a specific day or specific cup of tea. We are talking about a general idea. By using the article "a," we are creating a general statement implying that any cup of tea would taste good after any long day. English has two types of articles, the definite and the definite. Let's discuss them now in more detail. The article "a" and "da." Let's see the next example. I had a sandwich and an apple for lunch. The sandwich was very good, but the apple wasn't nice. Now, let's see what is the difference. Joe says a sandwich and apple because this is the first time he talks about them. The second one, Joe now says the sandwich, the apple, because he is referring to that specific sandwich or to the specific apple. The definite article. The definite article is the word that. As I mentioned before, we use that for specific things. In this case, we have an example. Are you going to the party this weekend? We suppose that we know which party are we talking about, the specific party of the weekend. The article can be used with singular, plural, and countable nouns. For example, please give me a please give me the hammer. In this case, I'm talking a specific hammer. I'm not talking about a hammer, for example, whatever hammer. Please give me the red hammer, the blue one. It's so small. In this example, I'm giving more specific information about this hammer. Please give me a nail. Please give me a large nail. It's only the strong enough to all this painting. What I really need. In this example, I'm giving more information of what I really need. The next one. Please give me the hammer and the nail. I'm giving information that I need the two things together. Specific identity is known. In this case, whatever it could be, singular, plural, countable noun, we use the article that with any noun. It doesn't matter which is it. We use the article that with any noun, whatever, singular, plural, count noun. When a specific identity or noun is unknown to deal with it, as the following situations. We use the article that when a particular noun is already been mentioned previously, such as, I ate an apple yesterday. The apple was juicy and delicious. So what is the difference? If you consider the difference, I ate an apple yesterday. I mentioned that I ate one apple. I don't know which apple was. However, when I said the apple was juicy, I'm referring to the apple that I ate. Use the article then. Use the article that when an adjective phrase or clause describing the noun clarifies or restricts its identity. The boy sitting next to the rice in his hand. What is the difference between the and the? We use the before a vowel sound. We use the before a consonant sound. That is the difference between the and the. We use the article the when the noun refers to something or someone that is unique. The theory of relativity. The definite article with a superlative adjective. He is the tallest boy in the class. It is the oldest building in the town. To say something about all things referred to by a noun. For example, the wolf is not a really dangerous animal. I'm talking about the wolves. The kangaroo is found only in Australia. The heart pumps blood around the body. To talk about musical instruments. For example, Joe plays the piano really well. She is learning the guitar. To refer a system or service. How long does it take on the train? I hear it on the radio. You should tell the police. Countries whose names include words like kingdom, state, for example, the United Kingdom, the United States, the Kingdom of Belgium, the People's Republic of China. Countries which have plural nouns as their names. the Netherlands, the Philippines. Geographical features such as mountain range, group of islands, rivers, ocean, canals. For example, the Himalayas, the Canaries, the Atlantic Ocean, the Amazon, the Panama Canal. Newspaper, the Times, the Washington Post. Well-known buildings or works of art. For example, the Empire State Building, the Taj Mahal, the Mona Lisa. Organizations, the United Nations, the Siemens Union. Hotels, pubs, and restaurants. The Ritz Hotel, the King's Head, the Deja Vu. We don't use an article in the name of the people. In Ecuador, for example, we said El Brian. In English, we don't say the Brian. In English, we don't say the article. El Carlos. We don't say the Carlos. We don't say the Maria. We say Maria in English. In Spanish, we use this kind of expressions. However, in English, we don't use the article. For example, we don't say the Browns. We say Browns. We don't say the Browns Hotel. We say Browns Hotel. Morelos restaurant. Families. In families, we use the article. For example, the Obamas, the Jacksons. If we talk about families, we are going to put the article. We use that when it is clear which thing a person we mean. For example, the light, the floor, the ceiling, the door, the carpet, etc. Can you turn off the light, please? We are talking about the light of the room. Can you take a taxi to the station? I took a taxi to the station in my town, to a specific station. In a shop, I like to speak to the manager, please. I like to speak with the manager of the hotel or the shop. We also say to the bank, to the post office. I had to go to the bank. Then I'm going to the post office. The speaker is usually thinking of a specific bank or a post office. Go to the doctor. Go to the dentist. Clear reason why. She's going to the doctor. I don't like going to the dentist. When we use a contraction gonna, we are not going to say I gonna to, because going to becomes gonna to. So we are not going to use that to, gonna to. I head to the bank today. There is a bank near here. I'm talking about a specific bank when we talk about the bank. But however, if I'm looking for a bank, I don't like going to the dentist. My sister is a dentist. I'm talking about my sister. She is a dentist. We say once a week, 3 times a day, a kilo. I go to the cinema about once a month. How much are these potatoes? Kelly works 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. Compare school and the school. Compare school and the school. All right, I'm going to read these examples and you're going to imagine what is the difference. You're going to guess what is the difference. Then I'm going to explain a little bit about it. Ellie is 10 years ago. Every day she goes to school. She's at the school now. School starts at 9 and finishes at 3. All right. And the second one. Today, Ellie's mother wants to speak to her daughter's teacher. So she has gone to the school to see her. Can you see the difference between those examples? When we are not using the article then, we are talking about whatever school. I don't know. I don't want to know the information about the school. However, when we are talking about in the second example about that school, about Ellie's school, a specific building, we use prison or jail, hospital, university, college, church. We use prison, jail, hospital, university, college, and church in a similar way. We don't use that when we are talking about the general ideas of these places and what they are used for. Compare. The first one. When I leave school, I plan to go to a university or go to a college. I'm not talking about a specific university. The second one. I went to a university to meet Professor Thomas. I'm talking about the building. I'm talking about the university that I went. The second one. Joe had an accident last week. He was taken to the hospital. He's in the hospital. He's still in the hospital. Jane has gone to the hospital to visit Joe. Jane has gone to the hospital to visit Joe. She's at the hospital now. She is in the hospital. She is in the building. She is inside the building. She is in the specific hospital. Ken's brother in prison for robbery. Ken went to the prison to visit his brother. Sarah's fathers go to the church every Sunday. Some workmen went to the church to repair the roof. We say go to the bed, in the bed, etc. Not the bed. For example, I'm going to bed now. Good night. Not I'm going to the bed now. I'm going to bed now. Do you ever have breakfast in bed? But I sat down on the bed, a specific piece of furniture when I'm talking about my bed, when I'm talking about a specific bed. Go to work. Be at work. Start at work. Finish work, etc. Not to the work. Chris didn't go to work yesterday. What time do you still finish work? What time do you usually finish work? Go home, come home, arrive home, get home, be at home, do something at home, etc. It's late, let's go home. Not let's go to the home. I don't go out to work, I work at home. We use that when we mean specific things or people. Compare. Children learn from playing. It is a general idea, specific idea. We took the children to the zoo. We took a group of children to the zoo. The next one. I couldn't live without music. The film wasn't very good, but I liked the music. I like that music. All cars have wheels. All the cars in the park belong to people who work here. Those cars. I'm speaking about those cars. Sugar isn't very good for you. Can you pass me sugar, please? Can you pass me that sugar? English people drink a lot of tea. That is a general idea. It's a generalization. However, if I speak the English people I know drink a lot of tea, I'm speaking about the English people that I know. The difference between something in general and something specific is not always very clear. Compare the next example. I like working with people. In specific, I like the people I work with. It's a little difficult to recognize. Don't get confused with those kind of examples. In a real conversation, you are going to speak with a context because in real conversation, you're going to use whole sentence. You're not going to use phrase by phrase or statement by statement for the other people understand your message. Do you like coffee? The coffee we had at dinner wasn't very good. Names without them. We don't use them before names. We don't use names of most of cities, streets, roads, squares, parks. Union Street, not the Union Street. Fifth Avenue, Hyde Park. Bay Road, Broadway, Times Square. Amazonas Avenue, we don't say the Amazonas Avenue. Names of public buildings and institutions, airports, situation, university, etc. And also some geographical names are two words. For example, Manchester Airport, Harvard University. We don't say the Manchester. We don't say the Manchester Airport, Harvard University. We said Manchester Airport, Harvard University. The first word is the name of the place, Manchester, or a person, Harvard. These names are usually without that in the same way we said Victoria Station, Canterbury, Heidelberg Castle, Fair, Buckingham Palace, but the Royal Palace. Royal is an adjective, it's not a name. Indefinite article. Indefinite article takes two forms. Alright, when we talk about indefinite article, we're talking about the a and n. We use a before a consonant sound and n before a vowel sound. For example, if I'm talking about a hotel, H is a consonant sound. However, there is a word, for example, honorable. Some words that started with H doesn't have a vowel sound or H sound. For example, a gift, an apple, and other examples. Please hand me a book. Any book will do. Please hand me an autobiography. Any autobiography will do. Exception choosing R or N. As I explained before, here we have an example. We say honor. We don't say honor. So, for example, incorrect. My mother is a honest. It's incorrect because it is a vowel sound. Similarly, when a vowel sound starts with a consonant sound. For example, incorrect. She is a United States Senator. The correct. She is a United States Senator. Article before an adjective. The order for this kind of sentence is the following. First the article plus the adjective plus the noun. For example, Lisa will bring a small gift to Sophie's party. A small. A is the article, small is the adjective, and gift is the noun. The next one. I heard an interesting story yesterday. An is the article, interesting is the adjective, and story is the noun. Indefinite articles with uncountable nouns. We don't use articles before uncountable nouns. For example, we don't use milk. We don't use a wine. We don't use information. We don't say an equipment. We don't say a sand. We never use a or an. However, uncountable nouns can be modified by words like some, any. For example, please give me a bottle of water. Please give me an ice. Please give me an ice. I'm talking about an ice cream. Please give me an ice cube. I'm talking about an ice cube. Please give me some ice. Please give me some ice. If I'm speaking generalized, note that depending on the context, some nouns can be countable or uncountable. Example, air, noise, time. For example, we don't say give me a cake. We say give me a piece of cake. Give me some food. Give me some bread. We don't say a bread. Or give me a piece of bread. It's totally different to say give me a bread. It's totally incorrect if we say give me a bread. Give me a piece of bread. In Spanish we said give me a bread. However, in English we don't have this kind of expression. We use give me some bread or give me a piece of bread or a piece of cake. We need a light in this room. I need only a light. I'm not talking about the general idea. I'm talking about a light. We need some light in this room. Both are correct because some nouns are countable and uncountable. Using articles with pronouns. We don't use articles with pronouns. We never are going to use articles with pronouns. For example, I don't say, it is that my book. It is that my computer. It's totally incorrect if we say those kinds of expressions. We said, give me a book, give me that book, give me that book, give me those books. For example, the incorrect. Why are you reading that my book? It's totally incorrect. Even it's a little difficult to pronounce if we said in the manner. The correct way is, why are you reading my book? Why are you reading my book? We don't use the and my, even if those words modify the noun. We don't use the and my together. The omission of articles. Let's compare those examples. Let's go out for a dinner tonight. It's incorrect. We don't say a dinner. Let's go out for dinner tonight. Incorrect. It's a valuable quality in children. We said creativity is valuable quality in children. Many languages in Nigeria are not processed by an article. Consider the next example. I studied French in a high school for years. I don't say I study a French or I studied a French. It is totally incorrect. I like to play baseball. My sister was always good at math. Here a brief explanation about countdowns and non-countdowns. The rule 1, specific identity unknown. For example, we use a and a with countdowns. We don't use an article. Rule number 2, specific identity known. If we know the identity, we use that for count and uncount nouns. Rule number 3, all things or things in general. We don't use articles in any of them. Many nouns are sometimes countable and sometimes uncountable. Usually there is a difference in the meaning. Compare. Uncountable. Did you hear a noise just now? Or, I can't work here. There is too much noise. Noise in general. I bought a paper to read, a newspaper. I need some paper to write on. This is a nice room. You can't sit here. There isn't room. I had some interesting experiences. I was offered the job because I had a lot of experience. Enjoy your trip. Have a great time. I can't wait. I don't have time. The nouns are usually uncountable. For example, accommodation, behavior, damage, lack, permission, traffic, advice, bread, furniture, luggage, progress, weather, baggage, chaos, information, news, scenario, work. We don't use a and an with those nouns. I'm going to buy some bread. As I explained before, we don't say bread. In Spanish, we say the bread, but in English, we don't say the bread. enjoy your holiday. I hope you have weather. These nouns don't have the plural form. We don't say breads. We don't say furniture, etc. Where are going to put all the furniture? We don't say our research. Let me know if you need more information. We don't say informations. News is uncountable, non-plural. The news was unexpected. Not the news were. The news was unexpected. The news are singular. The same happened with travel. They spent a lot of money on travel. We had a very good trip, journey, not a good travel. Compare these uncountable and countable nouns. Countable. I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for work. We don't say, I'm looking for a work. What a beautiful view. It's a nice day today. It's a nice weather today. We have a lot of bags. We have a lot of baggage. These chairs are mine. This furniture is mine. That's a good suggestion. That's a good advice. There were a lot of cats. There was a lot of traffic. If you see the difference in uncountable, we use the singular verb. We use is, was. We don't use were. We can use some and any with plural, countable nouns, or uncountable nouns. For example, we sang some songs. We listened some music. Did you have any apples? Did you buy any apple juice? We use many and few for countable. Let's focus on it. We use many and few for countable and much and little for uncountable. Remember this. Many, few for countable, much and little uncountable. We didn't take many pictures. I have a few things to do. Much. We didn't do much shopping. I have a little work to do. Countable nouns with a, and some. You can use some with plural nouns. For example, some, a number of, a few of, a pair of. I've been some good movies recently. Some friends of mine are coming to stay at the weekend. I need some new sunglasses, a pair of sunglasses. Often you can use the same thing with or without some. For example, I need some new clothes. Pronunciation of close is like close, the verb close, to close the door. I need some new clothes. The same happens asked. We don't say asked. We say asked. We say clothes. We say months. We don't say months. It's a little difficult to pronounce. The room was empty apart from the table and some chairs. Do not use some when we are talking about things in general. For example, I love bananas. Not I love some bananas. My aunt is a writer. She writes the books. Not she writes some books. It is going to depend on the context. We are not going to say isolated words. Some. Some children learn very quickly. A group of children. Tomorrow there will be rain in some places, but most of the places will be dry. Alright, I hope you understand everything. That's it for today. If you had any doubt, let me know. See you later.